Let's continue then. And I brought up my boy, and that was partly tongue-in-cheek because a lot of people drafted Cam Akers in the 4th and 5th round, more so the 4th round, because they want to make sure they got him last year because, like, Cam Akers campaign, like he's back to 100%. And then Cam Akers, Matthew Stafford, Allen Robinson, the entire Rams team just, here, hold on. This is what they did to the bed. Oh, wait, that's not even good enough for what they did to the
No.
There you go. That's what they did to the bed. A couple more of those. So Cam Akers, though, woke up at that stretch at the end of the year. We're doing this again. The year before was he was playing hurt, played against some tough defenses. Everything should be good this year. This time it's he showed up finally and played well at the end of the year. This is somebody, Lauren, who also in the middle of the season, Sean McVay was trying to get rid of. Like,
yes, I was going to.
Hey, anybody you want to come get him? And everybody was like, nah. And he came back to the team after basically sitting out and not being involved. And he comes back and leads this backfield. There's little competition again. It's Kyron Williams, who didn't do much to show us any hope as a rookie. They did draft Zach Evans, so like it's some competition there. But again, a late round pick, surprise, Sean McVay is talking up again. He did the same thing with Kyron Williams last year. Matthew Stafford's healthy. The offense bounce back, question mark, maybe. Like, are we back in on Cam Akers? You don't have to draft him in the 4th round this year.
Oh yeah. I'm in because of where he's falling in drafts. Like, I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. I do think that the Rams are going to have a bounce back year. They have to. Like, how can you get any worse from last year? Like,
they don't have to.
Literally only
they don't have to.
Like,
Their defense is going to be atrocious this year. I know they have Donald on the team, but it's not even just losing Jalen Ramsey. It's like Leonard Floyd. Like all they did was
they're gonna have to score some points then, which is always good for fantasy to keep up in the game. So that's kind of when I need to bounce back here. I mean,
I'm gonna jump in. You're pausing again. Sorry, Lauren, but like just to go to Meaney on this one. Looking at their schedule, it does soften up. But the first 5 games at Seattle, San Francisco, at Cincinnati, at Indianapolis, they can win that one. Philly at home. It softens up after that. Arizona, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Green Bay, bye week. Seattle, Arizona's in there. Cleveland, Baltimore, Washington, New Orleans, Giants, San Francisco. Ends up a lot easier than it starts. But to go back to what Meaney said, maybe they don't bounce back a ton.
I think maybe they can offensively, to Lauren's point. Like, I like what they did in the draft. Like, they bolstered the offensive line.
I don't like that they get San Francisco and Cincinnati defenses and Phillies this week. I might just here. Hey, you know what this just made me think of? Everybody's doing the right thing and being like, oh, they're going to bounce back. You're not wrong, Lauren. They're going to bounce back. They're going to be better. Stafford is under center and they're healthy. They're going to be better. Cam Akers should be. But I'm looking at this and saying, me personally, I might be like, I like Cam Akers. You know that. I might be like, draft him. I'm going to come in week 5 and be like, hey, you know that guy sucks on your team? You want to trade him? You don't want to see him facing the Eagles, right? And then buy low.
We'll be doing this again after 5 weeks. Sean McVay hates Cam Akers. Yeah. What's happening? Why isn't Cam Akers getting all these touches? I wouldn't worry about too much about Evans. Sean McVay, they've drafted a running back every year. Sean McVay has been there.
It talks him up every year.
Yeah, it talks him up every year. And Akers is one of those guys that drafted and talked up. And then I was just so confused what was happening. I don't even know. Like, maybe it's all speculation. Maybe he just wasn't 100% with his Achilles injury, or McVay didn't think he was and wanted to ease him back. And Akers is saying, no, listen, give me the ball. And when they gave him the ball, like down the stretch of the season, the last 3 games certainly stand out. 23 for 118, 19 for 123, and then 21 for 105. But he was also catching passes, which is something he didn't do a whole lot of in his rookie season. He had at least 2 grabs in each of those final 4 games as well. So that's kind of like true bell cow usage. But they did bolster the offensive line. Stafford got hurt like 4 or 5 different times last year, multiple concussions. So if for them to bounce back offensively, even though Akers had those games without Stafford last year, I think it's so important to have a healthy Cup and a healthy Stafford so this offense can be competitive. But I think they're going to be brutal defensively, and it could just mean more dump offs.
They got a veteran behind them in Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, like just like you said, I think that does mean a few more dump offs, and I don't necessarily think that's always going to go to Cooper Kupp, although the majority of them definitely will. I also really like the way that Sean McVay is so creative in his offensive schemes as well, and the way that he utilized Cam Akers as well. Like, he was catching passes out of the backfield. He was being used as a just ground and pound running back. I like that. So I like what they're going to do this year. Now, real football wise, just to clarify in case anyone's confused here, year. I don't think they're going to have an amazing, awesome season. I think it's going to be much better than what it was. Kind of hard to get worse. But I think fantasy football wise for these offensive pieces, knock on wood, if they stay healthy, I think this is going to be discount, like dollar store shopping for some of these gems that
I think he's the biggest steal at the moment in drafts.
Cam Akers.
I think he's one of the biggest. I mean, to get this
I agree. He's
seventh or eighth round at the moment.
Well, look behind Cooper Kupp too. Don't forget, Meaney, when we did the show, Lauren was out that time, but don't forget they got Pikachu now at wide receiver that they drafted. So Puka Nakua.
I like it. That's a good nickname for him. But
he's
Cam Akers
too. Pikachu.
Yeah, I know. Cam Akers finishes RB 33 in a half point setting, and the guy had over 6 fantasy points.
Do you know
from week 1?
Do you know how many people would miss that question if you asked that? Like, where did Cam Akers finish? Did he finish top? If you just even said, did he finish top 40? No. Everybody would say, no way.